So today Arignar Zoological Park to give our introductory note about this important day. So please, sir.
Very good afternoon. Very good afternoon to all the speakers and guests participating in this webinar. Usually on this World Tiger Day, we do a lot of functions in our Vandalur Zoo, but because of this Corona problem, we have organized this webinar for the benefit of public. Tamil Nadu is distinguished state of having 4 tiger reserves in our country, and lot of importance is given to tiger conservation in Tamil Nadu. We are one of the highest owners of tigers, and earlier we were using this pug mark technique for census, etc. And now, after this camera trapping technique and new modern techniques, objectivity in this census operation has also increased manifold. So I welcome you all and hope this talk will be very useful to everybody, and it will go a long way in conservation of tiger in our country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So today we can go into our important session with our eminent speakers. So let me introduce our first speaker, Dr. K. Shankar. He is director of Salim Ali Center of Ornithology and Natural History, SECON, Coimbatore, which is a center of excellence under the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Government of India. He has conducted active research on tigers in India like for past 25 years. So he's going to enlighten us lots about the conservation of tigers on this important day. Sir, please welcome, sir.
Unmuted. Thank you very much. So can I go ahead? Hello, am I audible? Where is the guest? Sridhar. Hello.
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, can I go ahead with my talk?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, so good afternoon, everybody. I am Dr. K. Shankar and director of Salim Ali Center for Ornithology and Natural History, as has been introduced. And prior to joining SECON 4.5 years ago, I had worked with Wildlife Institute of India, Dehradun, and I had coordinated All India coordinated tiger monitoring in the Western Ghats for 3 consecutive sessions. Also, I had done my research on tigers in Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan for over a period of 20 years. And I was part of a tiger reintroduction program in Sariska Tiger Reserve, and about which also I'll be talking. So let me go to my talk and start. So can you see the screen now? Hello? Can I go ahead? Can you all see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. Well, yeah. The topic is tiger conservation in India, past, present, and future. I mean, but before going to that, I mean, let me tell you the problems in forest conservation in India, which is coinciding with tiger conservation in India. India has the second largest human population in the world, next to China. Then over 50% of our rural population, they completely depend on forest resources for their day-to-day living. Okay, and India also has maximum number of unproductive livestock in the country. Okay, I mean in the world rather, and so these cattle, I mean, they are only dung-producing machines, and they compete with wildlife and herbivores and cars, and then transmit diseases to the wild animals. So we have lots of problems, and India's forest cover is just 23%, whereas the desired forest cover is over 30%. We will not be able to increase the forest cover to 30% maybe in another 10 years, 20 years, unless and until something really goes very, very well. Okay, these are the problems. Then coming to the tiger subspecies, and if you see the historical distribution of tigers over the world, right from Western Siberia to through India to Southeast Asian countries, I mean, tigers have lost about 70% of their historical range. It's a very big loss for their distributional range. Okay, there are 9 species of tigers, subspecies, and of which 3 subspecies have become extinct: Bali tiger, Caspian tiger, and Caspian tiger, and Javan tiger. And there is one subspecies called South China tiger, but people say that there are one or few tigers, but no one knows. Okay, I believe that they are also extinct in China. But currently, the tigers are found in 13 range states. Okay. And the status of tigers in those 13 range countries I have listed down, right from Bhutan to Russia, and of which India has about 2,967 plus tigers. 67 plus means they're adult tigers, more than 2 years old. We have not taken into consideration cubs as well as sub-adults, because the rate of mortality in cubs and sub-adults is about almost 50%. So we have accounted only for adult tigers who are more than 2 years old. So India has about almost 70% of world's tiger population. So we should be proud of it. And the tiger subspecies which is found in India is Royal Bengal tiger and Panthera tigris tigris, and the status is endangered, and it is listed in IUCN Red List as endangered, as well as it is there in the Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. I'm sorry. Then the distribution wise, I mean, tiger is practically found throughout the country, except Jammu Kashmir, Haryana, Punjab, Pondicherry, and Andamans. This clearly shows their ability to survive. Okay, it's a, I mean, it's a very strong predator, and it can survive in different habitat conditions, different environment conditions, and also even harsh conditions. And in Himalayas, they were recorded up to 12,000 feet. Here I've said 10,000 feet, but in Himalayas, occasionally people have recorded tigers up to 12,000 feet. But they're all very strange incidents. Those tigers might have strayed out there and then come down after a few days. They cannot survive in such snow habitat. They are not like Siberian habitats. I mean, they are not like Siberian tigers. Then the tigers, Royal Bengal tiger, the population in India. Somebody I mean, wrote some references are available. Quoted that about a century ago, more than 100 years ago, the population of tiger in India was 40,000 individuals. But this could be an overestimate, and nobody said that what methodology they followed, how did they compile data. But definitely it would have been 20,000 tigers 100 years ago for sure. Then by 70s and early 70s, The Project Tiger 1973, it was launched to save the tigers by declaring tiger reserves in the country. Then by the time they were estimating tiger population based on pug mark count. Okay, and the tiger pug marks were traced, and then the pug marks were the trace outs were brought to the headquarter, as well as the plaster of Paris mold of the pug marks were also taken in beat wise, and then they compiled the data based on visually interpreting data. They estimated the tiger numbers, which is actually overestimated, because there's a lot of biases involved in it, because the same tiger may go from one forest beat to another forest beat, and then it is counted as two different tigers. So the population was overestimated. Okay. But 1984, based on Pugmark census, the estimated tiger population was around 4,000 individuals. This is again based on Pugmark. But what happened in 2008, the National Tiger Conservation Authority asked Wildlife Institute of India to come out with a new method, scientific method, which is already field tested in Kanha Tiger Reserve, to deploy in the entire tiger rangelands in the country. Okay, so I was also part of it, and I was happy to do that. And so 2008, we got the tiger estimated as 1411. Then 2010, 1700. Okay, I have given this figure again. I mean already. So now 2019, we have 2967 adults, right? And what are the major causes of tiger decline? I'll just list them. I mean, I just listed them one by one. The major cause of tiger decline in the wild in India is poaching. No other factor, because India harbors about 70% of wild tiger population. There is a lot of pressure on tigers. For what reason? It is for the body parts. Only the tiger bones, which are the tigers are caught, killed, and then the bones are taken out, and then they are sent across the border of India. It goes to China largely, okay, through Tibet, And in China, the tiger bones are used to make soup. It's called tiger bone soup. They believe that people of Chinese origin, they who practice a medicine called traditional Chinese medicine, in which animal body parts are used. A lot of wildlife and a lot of wild animals, domestic animals, body parts are used. Chinese believe that the tiger bone soup, it has aphrodisiac value. What is aphrodisiac? Sexual stimulant. They believe in it, But medically, it is disproved, It has only calcium. That's all. Overdose of calcium, nothing else. But there is a great demand put on our Indian tigers, And the middlemen were involved, and they take money from abroad, and then they poach tigers, and then they send the bones up across. That is how the trade is going on. Still, it is going on, but the trade is under great control in the last 10 years. But tigers are also killed for pelt, that is the skin. Then the people do poison, tiger kills. Whenever tigers, whenever tigers kill repeatedly livestock, the owner of the livestock, will not wait for longer. If he or she is not getting compensation from forest department or from any other lion departments, what he does is he pours poison onto the prey of tiger, which is the dead cattle. Then the tiger has habit of coming back to the kill again to feed on the killed prey. Then it ingests the poison and then it dies. That is also another reason, which is happening across the country in very small scales. Then habitat loss. So like any other species in India, habitat loss is also attributed to cause of decline in tigers. Then depletion of prey base. Whenever the prey base is becoming low and lower, so then the tigers will not be able to hunt. So these two are also responsible for tiger decline in the country. Then tiger is why to conserve tiger? Tiger is top carnivore. It occupies the ecological pyramid, the topmost level. And many of us, all of us, would have studied science in the school. Even now, in the course curriculum, even people, they are being taught about ecological pyramid. So tigers occupy being the topmost predator, occupy the topmost level in the pyramid. And if tiger is lost, if tiger becomes extinct from any given area, it will lead into ecological imbalance. Okay, and which I had also studied only in theory, but what I had found out is that in Sariska Tiger Reserve in 2004, when all the tigers were poached, okay, and then the herbivore population became tripled in 3 years. And they started, raiding crops, which are owned by people. Then the local people gave representation to forest department and also gave a petition to chief minister of Rajasthan to bring back tigers to control their the wild herbivore population. That was interesting. Something happened. I'll talk about it little later. Okay. So when after the Pagmark census, we thought that, we need to monitor, we need to establish a credible monitoring system for tiger census in India. So between 2004 and 8, Wildlife Institute of India, in coordination with the National Tiger Conservation Authority, New Delhi, introduced a new methodology. Okay, that is to cover all these aspects. Okay, what is status habitat, tiger habitat? What is the trend in tiger population? Whether tiger population is increasing or decreasing or remaining stable in any given area. Okay, and what is the status of tiger spray? What are the tiger spray we know, but what are their status? Actual density and where they are found and how they are doing, and then what are the source populations, that is the breeding units. Okay, and which is very important to know. There should be breeding individuals in a given population. Otherwise, that population will become extinct after some time. And why they are not breeding, that also we look into. Then spacing and connectivity of populations. The population should be connected between habitats, between areas. Only then the gene flow will happen between areas. And finally, how many tigers? Everybody wants to know the number. Okay, if we give the density per square kilometer, nobody is going to accept. But everybody, including politicians, they want numbers. Now we are giving numbers also. Okay, how we are doing? We are doing now camera trap. We introduced camera trap technique, which is called mark recapture population estimation. Which is very simple. We have to photograph all the tigers by placing remotely placed cameras. We'll have to take the pictures of each tiger on either on both the flanks. Okay, then we can find out the identity. So like our like our thumb, each and every individual will have a unique ID. Okay, and like that, tigers also, based on their stripe pattern, right, either on their legs or on their body or on the neck, okay, or on the tail. Every individual tiger will have a unique mark that we'll have to identify. Okay, once when you take a photograph, what you need to do is you have to use a computer software. You just upload the picture and then you start uploading all the pictures. Then the software will analyze and then it will tell you how many individual tigers are there in that given area. Okay, anyway, I will not go into much of a detail. In addition to tiger population, we are also assessing the prey population health, prey population, as well as forest connectivity, forest health status, and also the anthropogenic pressure, all put together. Okay, it's a very robust design and model which is field tested now, which has been practiced in India and also in Bangladesh now, and also Nepal and Bhutan. Then coming to the Western Ghats landscape, why it is important for tiger conservation. Okay, the Western Ghats landscape, right from right from what do you call the Nagarhole, Bandipur, Wayanad, Mudumalai, Satyamangalam. Okay, this continuous patch, it has forest connectivity. This patch has the single largest tiger population in the world. In India also, it has a single largest population, but in the world also, it is very, very important for tiger survival in future. What we have predicted, that in another 200 years, we will be able to show tigers to our children and grandchildren in this area, but not in other places in India, which will be very, very difficult. Okay, because of the forest connectivity, because of the prey population, because of the protection here, the tigers are doing so well. So we should be very happy about our Western Ghats complex. Now you see, this complex has the world's largest tiger population. I already told, from Nagarhole to Wayanad to Bandipur to Mudumalai to Satyamangalam, which is over about, I don't know how many lakhs about 4 lakh square kilometer, I believe, and which harbors about 800 tigers. Okay, it's a very good number actually. Then coming to the Tamil Nadu tiger population, since I was involved in tiger population for 3 consecutive terms, only the last term, 2018, I was not there. I came to Sakan to take over as director here. But previously, if you see, Tamil Nadu tiger population, 2006, 76, 2010, 163, 2014, 229. Now it is 264, 3-fold increase, So, hats off to Tamil Nadu Forest Department for their protection. They increase the protection. They safeguarded the life of tigers. That's all. Prey population is already there. Forest is good. connectivity is there, the tigers will survive for another 100, 200 years for sure in this landscape even. Okay, there is a very good jump in tiger population in Tamil Nadu especially. Okay, so now coming to the important aspect of saving the tigers. I mean, what we can do, no, we can go for reintroduction. What is reintroduction? In a place where tiger became extinct, bring tiger back. Second is restocking, where there are tigers but the numbers are very small, very few females or very few males. So you need to bring some male, or you need to bring some two breeding females. That is restocking. That is also important, which we need to do in other tiger habitats in central India, and also towards northeast, and also to Orissa and other places. There are about 5-6 tiger reserves. The tiger population is not doing well, as per the recent tiger estimation. Okay, and then forest protection, of course. I mean, this is very, very important. We need to prevent poaching. Then increase forest connectivity and improvement of forest corridors. Okay, forest corridors are very, very important. We have identified the forest corridors, and which is connecting, between habitats, wherein the tigers can move in and move out, especially the males. So there will be genetic flow, genetic inflow and outflow between populations. In Rajasthan, one of my radio collared tigers, he traveled 250 kilometers from one habitat to another habitat. Ranthambore Tiger Reserve, from Ranthambore Tiger Reserve, he traveled all the way to Bharatpur, that national park, Kiladogana National Park, bird sanctuary. Okay, there he went and settled. Then we went and caught him, and then we brought him to Sariska. 250 kilometers by the time he had traveled, all human habitation. So tigers are marvelous, amazing. Only in the night he traveled between crop fields. Nobody could even see him even. Anyway, then so the forest corridors are very, very important for future tiger survival in the country. Then involvement of local people in tiger conservation. I will say that without the involvement of local people, no conservation program will become a success. Okay, whatever program you call, okay, local people's involvement should be there. Okay, then we will win the case. Then now I will tell you some of my experience in reintroducing tigers, in Sariska Tiger Reserve, Rajasthan. Way back in 2004, newspapers reported that tigers became extinct. There was a small population of 10 to 15 tigers in Sariska. So this was picked up by international news agencies even, and then CBI was asked to come for investigation in Sariska. And so then what happened? CBI found that tigers were poached. Poachers were caught. Good thing. And then the mastermind of the poacher, okay, Sanchar Chand, he was put behind bar. He could not even come out from bail. The case was so impounded, and then forest department saw to it that he died in jail. Finally, he died. But all the tigers were lost. But I had been working in Sariska Tiger Reserve since 1986, 87 actually, since after I joined Wildlife Institute of India as a faculty member. So I had a great affection towards Sariska. I didn't want tigers to disappear. I wanted tigers to come back. So me, along with my colleague, Dr. Kamar Qureshi, we prepared a plan for reintroducing tigers in Sariska, and that plan was approved. It was the first ever plan in India and also in the world, based on a scientific document, reintroduction of tigers, which is still there in the website of the NTCA. Okay, so what we did, between 2008 and 2013, it took 4 years for us, to get that plan approved, to get the political will, to get the support of state government as well as central government. In central government, Congress was there. In the state government, BJP was there. But both of them had kindly agreed, and then they gave us the go ahead in reintroducing tigers. Money should be available, and equipment should be available, and then political will should be there, and then organization like scientific organization like Wildlife Institute of India was roped in. Anyway, it all happened. So 8 tigers we reintroduced in between 2008 and 2013. Okay. And this is the first time in the world based on a scientific species recovery plan. There was no species recovery plan for tigers in India when there was Project Tiger. Okay, it was we who wrote that. Now it is there as a document. It was a big shock when tigers disappeared from a tiger reserve. Nobody could believe, and nobody had a backup plan. Okay, and I'll just show you some slides, glimpses of tiger reintroduction. I'll go fast, and it all happened, on June 2008. Sorry, I'll go back. June 2008, and it was already monsoon set in, and so we all reached, and on 22nd June, between 22nd June and 27th June, what we did, we started capturing tigers and deployed VHF radio collars. So that on 28th of June, the date was fixed for reintroduction. That was the biggest mistake our government did. Okay, you cannot fix a date for, what do you call, tranquilizing a tiger and then shifting him or her out, it was not possible, I'll tell you. Okay, so what we did, we thought that, better we'll capture about 4 or 5 tigers, deploy radio collars. On 28th June morning, we'll go and at least we'll get one animal, either male or female. We were supposed to catch one male first. Sorry, one female first. It also did not happen. So 28th of since for about five days, it was a nightmare for us. It was raining, but we could catch tigers and then we could deploy radio collars. And in the meantime, in just 4 days time, we could even fabricate tiger containers, the cages for transportation. There was no design available. It was all we designed. 250 kilos weight tiger container we had to fabricate. And then we had to go inside the forest. 28th of June, it was raining, downpouring actually. And then in Ranthambore Tiger Reserve, there are no camp elephants. There are only open gypsies on which only we had to go and then look at tigers inside the bushes. You look at the bushes, they're all green, very thick. Tiger will be, we can sight a tiger, but we cannot dot. For darting a tiger, we need to get the proper location. We cannot dot the tiger on its neck. Okay, we need to see its rump on the right side or left side. You can shoot on the foreleg also here, but you have to be very careful. Anyway, so we were going inside, but we were lucky to sight a tiger, but it was not a radio collar tiger. It was a non-radio collar tiger, and it was a male. It was not a female. But my director told Mr. Piasanna, you go ahead and tranquilize this. He gave permission. So we dotted that male. My veterinarian colleague, Dr. P.K. Malik, and another colleague, Dr. Parag Nigam, and Mr. Shekawat, he was a former field director of Sariska Tiger Reserve. Amazing person he is. Okay. Then we got that male, and we deployed a collar, radio collar, and then we took him on a stretcher. And after that, we then same animal only. Then after that, we were about to take him into the container. And from the container, the container has to be loaded loaded onto a truck, Asian canter, I think, Then it was to be taken to a helipad, wherein the army helicopter was supposed to come to pick up the tiger. So it was planned to transport the tigers, the initial 2 tigers, by air. We had done mock drill and all before, and I was there with the Air Force officials. They were very cooperative, So Indian Air Force gave 4 helicopter sorties free of cost for this operation. So this is a radio collar, and the animal after dotting, it is sleeping very well cooperating. And after that, we kept the animal inside shifted the animal into this container, and this container was taken into the truck. Okay. Then since it had rained heavily, it was raining in the morning also, it was all along the route, it was very muddy, and it is a cotton, cotton soil, black cotton soil, very slippery. And then our vehicle got stuck in mud, and the canter could not be pushed further. So they tried pushing it using a jeep. It failed. Jeep also got stuck. So then after that, what we did, we called a tractor with a trailer, and then the entire container along with the animal, 220 kilos weight tiger, 250 kilos container. It was then taken into a tractor trolley, and then only we went to the helipad. So inside the container, it was well ventilated, the animal was aerated, and we were also cooling the animal also occasionally, and we were taking the body measurements, all things. Animal was doing fine. Then the helicopter came. Helicopter landed also. And then the helicopter, the wing commander came and his crew came. We were very happy. And then we loaded the container into the helicopter, and then we closed the door, and then 3-4 of us, we got the chance to fly with the animal. Then we were flying with the animal. Helicopter got lifted. Then when the helicopter moved from Ranthambore to Sariska, the journey was just 30 minutes. Previously, when we had estimated, So while flying, when we were about to reach Sariska Tiger Reserve, the wing commander said that the forecast in Sariska is raining, so we may not be able to land in the right place where there is a helipad, and close to that we have already constructed a enclosure for releasing the animal. He said 45 kilometers away from Sariska. There is a permanent helipad. There I will land. I said nothing doing. Already this animal has been put in cage for the last 3 hours. Animal is woken up. We do not want to give another sedative dose to the animal because it was behaving well. So, but luckily, to our prayers, God listened, and we could land in Sariska Tiger Reserve. Then we all came out. We were all hugging each other. Then the wing commander said, "You all guys go out. The helicopter wheel got stuck in mud. You cannot even open the what you call the door of the helicopter from behind, because the helicopter got stuck in such a way this way, So what he did, he asked everybody to go away, and then he lifted the helicopter, moved little away, then he landed. So in a better solid soil condition. Then after that we got the tiger out, and after that inside the container was moved, then the container was taken away, and then we prepared a ramp also, and then we rolled the container onto this ramp, and then it was taken into a Asia Canter truck, and then the truck was moved towards the enclosure. We had prepared an enclosure. This was prepared about 1 month ago before the tiger reintroduction. Again, lot of research went into it. But anyway, so this was enclosure in which the tiger was supposed to be released. It is a 1 hectare plot. It's not very big. Initially, we planned 10 hectare. We didn't have money. We compromised. Then to 1 hectare we went. Then we released the animal inside. He went inside, looked at all of us, then went into the bushes. So it was a great relief for all of us. During the entire journey, 30-minute journey in helicopter, my former director, Mr. P.R. Sinha, did not even talk a single word to any of us. So after the celebration on ground, after we released the tiger, I asked him, "Sir, what were you doing? You were so silent." He said, "I was chanting Hanuman Chalisa. If the tiger, in case if the tiger dies, okay, many of us will lose our job." That's what he said. But anyway, it all happened. So we were very happy. First, we brought a male. Then we released him after 2 days in captivity, 3 days in captivity, and the condition was normal, and then he was released into wild. When he was released into wild, I became very emotional. Till then, I was very strong, because I saw the tiger after how many years, okay. And first tiger, he was marking the territory. He was going on by seeing the tiger. The wild animals were giving alarm, langoose were giving alarm. So it was a very emotional time for me, Then we brought a female, then after another female, then another female, then a male. So like that, 8 animals we brought. But the animals were mating, but they were not, reproducing. That was the biggest problem for us. For 4 years, there were no children produced. There were no cubs produced. Everybody was abusing me, especially, that you brought tigers, and the tigers are not breeding here. They cannot breed because you put radio collars. Because of radio collars, they are not breeding. I told him, Page Tiger Reserve, Madhya Pradesh, I got radio collar tigers. They're breeding very well. There is no problem at all. But it took time. Then in 2012, the first litter was born. 2 tiger cubs, could be photographed, and they all survived. They became adults. They are reproducing now, and the present population is 20 tigers. In any population, reintroduced population, the breeding is very essential, must. Only then you can consider the program as a success. Okay. And but in Sariska is an island. Sariska Tiger Reserve in Rajasthan. There is no forest connectivity between Sariska and any other nearby habitats, And it's a nice island, but about 1,200 square kilometers, including buffer. It's a huge area, but a lot of villages inside. The villages have to be relocated first. The park authorities could successfully relocate in the last 10 years, even 10 years. Only 2 villages. There are 30 villages still inside. Inside the core area, there are 8 villages. They should go. Only then there is a future for tigers in Sariska. But since the tigers came from Ranthambore Tiger Reserve, they had seen people before. They had seen livestock before. The conditions were similar. So they could adapt themselves to the new environment and started, living in the new habitat. And now they are reproducing. This population will increase for sure for further period. And maximum Sariska can accommodate 40 to 45 tigers. That is what we have predicted now. So this was my experience on Sariska Tiger Reserve, the reintroduction. But because of the political will, because of the money support, because of a lot of players, in this, including the Indian Air Force, who gave, helicopters, free of cost, and a lot of experiments had gone into it. Which drug to use, which is the best one. Initially 4 tigers, we brought by air. Then remaining 4 tigers, we brought by road. 350 kilometers brought tigers by road. We became an expert. Then the same thing was replicated in Panna Tiger Reserve. Madhya Pradesh. Panna authorities, park authorities came to Sariska, learned all these experiences, and then they went back and then replicated this same exercise. They got a big success there. Okay, that's the story. So I will finish my talk, and then now I am open for questions.
Thank you, sir. You have enlightened us with lots of information about how we try to reintroduce tigers in Sariska and all. Thanks a lot. And our participants have put few questions, sir.
Okay.
It's in the chat box. It's there. So I'll read few questions. You may answer that, sir.
Okay.
So one participant has asked what we as a common people can do for the conservation of tigers. Can you please suggest to the society what all things should we do?
You just what is, I mean, you also read the name also who has asked the question.
Okay, sir. Like I have got this question from the YouTube, so they have not posted. Like I'll let you know in the.
Okay, fine. I have the habit of calling the person by name and then answering. That's good. Okay. See, what as a common man, as a commoner, okay. What you can do for tiger conservation is you have to support the park authorities who are actually guarding the tigers, safeguarding the life of tigers, and there are many ways, and you can participate in their reach out programs, right? And then and then enhance your knowledge on what you call the ecology of tigers. Not like only you like tiger, but then you should know about the ecology of tigers. What do they eat? When do they breed? What is the gestation period? And why they come into conflicts with people? All those things, Then whatever way you want to support, then you can support further. Okay, this is one way you can do it, And there are ways and means to give donation to the tiger reserves. Okay, now they all have opened up. There is a charity they have opened up, and in which public can contribute money, and that money will be utilized only for tiger conservation. Okay, and then the money which they use on tiger conservation, including tourism improvement and all those, it goes back to people. 60 to 70% people will go to the local people. So the local people will get the benefit, of tiger conservation, Then they will conserve tigers. Next.
So next, Ms. Gayatri has asked, is there any possibility to improve the tiger population count in this current situation?
See, in the current situation, the possibility of increasing the tigers, is definitely there. But the tiger also, in any given area, even though there is very good prey base, but the forest area we are unable to increase in terms of the area. Forest area is not growing at all. Okay, India's forest cover, I told you, in the last 10 years, it is between 21 to 22 to 23. That's all, percentage in terms of geographical area, And under such circumstances, tiger also will reach its carrying capacity population wise. Okay, once when it reaches the carrying capacity, maximum number of tigers an area can hold, it will reach automatically. Till then we can increase. I do not know what is the number. Only the nature can tell. So then there will be a lot of infighting, and then there will be a lot of dispersal of tigers going out of the tiger reserves. There will be a lot of conflicts. We'll be able to notice and witness in the peripheral areas. So then there is a problem. Only those the tigers have to be captured and then taken into rescue centers and zoos. We cannot increase the tiger population, endlessly. Okay, maybe the next tiger census after 4 years can show about 20% increase, and after that it will be more or less stable. Population should not decrease further. That's all. Thanks.
Sir, Aruna Kumari has asked, what are called genial whiskers? Where are they found?
Sorry?
Genial whiskers, where are they found?
I don't know what is genial whiskers, but cats have whiskers. If she can tell me what is genial whisker, I don't know. See, they have whiskers, cats, which are there, here, like it is like their mustaches. It is arranged in 3 rows: row 1, row 2, row 3. Okay, and we found a new technology in identification of individual lines based on facial whisker patterns in Gir National Park, Gujarat. But whiskers are kind of tactile hairs. They can act as a sense organ. Okay, they can. But in tigers, in what way? I mean, it helps in their in communication. Once when they come in contact with, I mean, individuals maybe a male and female. I mean, a mother and father, maybe two sisters, two brothers. Okay, or someone maybe a relative also, friend. Okay, then they use this. I mean, they just smell each other and then they touch each other through the whisker even. So that kind of I mean, it's called Pruston in language, I mean, scientific language, Pruston. So they throw saliva, they do it, and then they go and kiss each other, rub each other. I mean, beautifully, they are explained. And the Pruston is found in tigers in captivity. The captive tigers are so attached to the zookeepers. They do that. Anyway, thank you. Next question.
Sundara Devi has asked, what are the laws of protecting tiger, those who kill tiger for sport, for their fur, etc.?
We cannot kill tigers, for sport. It is completely banned in India. Tiger hunting, may be allowed in other tiger range countries, but India, it is completely banned. You cannot kill tigers. You'll go behind bars for 6 years.
Sir, and I have a doubt.
Sir.
So in 2010, like we have started this International Tiger Day in St. Petersburg Summit, Tiger Summit. So then, like we have taken an oath of doubling the tiger numbers in range countries by 2022. So where do we stand right now in that portion?
But as far as India is concerned, we have done it, tripled almost. Okay. So in many areas, but in other range countries, I mean, things are not happening. But they have their own issues, I mean, own problems and own issues. There are poaching in many areas, and this tiger bone trade is creating. And then in other countries, I mean, they even catch tigers and then they take out their body parts, and then they are also sold, and that is also used in the traditional Chinese medicine. But in India, only when the bones are going. But again, for that they kill the tiger for sure. Other countries are not doing very well, but India has done tremendously in tiger conservation.
So one more participant has asked, Mr. Krishnamurthy. He has asked, I have seen photos in Pudukkottai Raja Palace where there were more tigers in dry forest of Pudukkottai 100 years before. Why don't today no tigers are there?
Okay, I mean, 100 years before, if you see the forest map of India, and if you see the forest map of India, you will see a lot of changes, because our human population has grown up tremendously, and we have intruded into forest areas. And I mean, India is a developing country. We definitely need developments, infrastructure, I mean, road and transport and buildings, and then agriculture, green revolution, all those, I mean. So because of our own activities, okay, and we have reduced the forest cover, and we have reduced the forest cover around Pudukkottai for tigers. That's why tigers are unable to live there. In Pudukkottai, the forest cover is so good, and the forest cover is supporting the prey base for tigers. Tigers will definitely be there. There is no prey base and there is no forest cover. There is no tigers.
Sir, this all our queries by our participants, sir. Sir, we thank you very much for your patience and like you took all your pain during this period to cover this chapter for us. Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you very much.
I really enjoyed, I enjoyed teaching. I was a teacher for nearly 30 years in Wildlife of India, but I miss the real classroom teaching, and there is not much fun in teaching people through this computer media. I mean, I miss that part. I really like to see the students class and then interact with them. And anyway, but now the situation is not like that. Otherwise, we could have arranged something else better. Anyway, thank you very much, and thank you, Arignar Zoological Park Director, DD. She was also my former student, Miss Sudharaman. And it was she who called me up, and then when she asked, I said I can't say no to you, But on the same day, I had another webinar. She conveniently shifted this talk to the afternoon, So it happened, and thank you very much. And so we'll meet sometime somewhere. Thank you very much.
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir. So, dear participants, we'll move on to our next speaker. So, let me introduce our next speaker, Dr. K. Sridhar. He has done post-graduation in veterinary surgery and radiology. He is working as zoo veterinary surgeon in Arignar Zoological Park. He has carried out lots of chemical immobilization and transportation of various wild animals, including tigers, elephants, rhinoceros, etc. Remarkably involved in a breeding program of captive wild animals, and he has hand-raised big cats, that is tigers, leopards, and he has mentored various zoo educational program and zoo outreach programs. So welcome, sir. Welcome. We can start now, sir.
Good evening, one and all. I welcome all the participants and spectators, and thank you all for holding your screen for this wonderful program. So now we are going to see about the ex-situ conservation, breeding of tigers, and hand rearing of tiger cub, which we have carried out in our Arignar Zoological Park. Just we see a little bit about the conservation breeding of tigers in captivity. See, ex-situ conservation, the meaning of ex-situ conservation is breeding them outside their natural environment. So any captivity like zoo, it's called, if we breed them, it's called ex-situ breeding. And for the ex-situ conservation, there is a central body called Central Zoo Authority of India. So they regulate all the breeding and zoos in India. And they have allotted few zoos for conservation breeding of tigers. On a title called a coordinating zoo. For these coordinating zoo, they will provide all the 100% fund support, including their enclosure and infrastructure, everything they will support. So for India, the coordinating zoo for tiger breeding is zoo located at Bhopal. Other zoos are included in the name of participating zoo. For them, they will support like infrastructure development for the conservation breeding enclosures. So there are few zoos, including our zoo, like Chennai Vandalur Zoo, Hyderabad Zoo, New Delhi Zoo, Chatbir, and Bhubaneswar Zoo. So this will help in transfer of male, like export and import of new gene pool. In case of like breeding is done very well, and then if you want to exchange change the bloodline, this will this coordinating zoo and participating zoo, they will work in hand with them. Then tiger variants. So there are, you would have heard it already, like white tiger and black tigers. Like both the white and black tigers we have at our zoo. In white tiger is also called as bleached tiger. It's the color variation is due to mutation of a recessive gene which is responsible for pigment production. So there will be a lack of pigment called pheomelanin, which results in the very new variant existence. The white tiger, they will have a white body with black stripes. They were spotted in the wild around in 1915 itself, but in 1951, Maharaja of Rewa, who identified a orphaned cub from the forest, and he brought it for the captive breeding. That's the beginning of the captive breeding of white tiger. Now, almost all over India, most of the zoos have a white tigers. Then one more variant is called a black tiger. So they are also called as pseudo-melanistic tigers. This is due to the agouti pigmentation. They call the one side of the air will be of different reflections. This will give you the stripes are appearance like stripes are closely packed. You can see in the pictures. These are all pseudo-melanistic tiger cubs born in our zoo, Arignar Zoological Park. you can clearly see that the stripes are packed very closely and they appear very dark. This is their present size. They have grown up now. The rescue and rehabilitation of tiger. It's not very new for our zoo, like hand rearing or rescue and rehabilitating the big cats. So around 6 to 8 years ago, there was a wild tiger cub rescued from forest. It was brought by a farmer, which he couldn't identify. Some animal was there, like crying through night, so he brought it, and that animal was brought to our zoo, and we hand raised that tigress. Now you can see that humongous tigress. Her name is Yutra. And we go to the next part of this program, hand rearing of a tiger cub. Like from day one, we have raised a tiger cub. So we used to call him as the the prince of our zoo. So it's a name given. And this was so far. It's not no, we haven't spoke about this story in any of our program. So on this precious day, we thought of bringing this to a limelight. Just I'm going to share the experience of our teamwork, and this is not a simple task, because if you are going to raise any animal from day one, which I haven't consumed the colostrum. The first milk produced by the mother is called colostrum, which is very much essential for the survival of the young one. So that contains the proteins and immunoglobulins, which gives them a immunity for all most of the diseases, which will be there in the body for around 2 to 3 months. So once the animal, the cub, the newborn, haven't consumed the colostrum, it is pre-exposed for any kind of infection. So we have to give very intensive care, so which we attempted and which worked also. We are going to see the success story of hand raising a tiger cub. So why we should take such a pain or concentration or work to raise a cub tiger? Why we should give such an importance to a tiger? Just one slide. This has been discussed by our many mentors before. So they are apex predator. So apex predators are very much important for the maintenance of the forest, the ecosystem, because they are on the top of the food web. You can see they control almost the population of the entire animal population of a forest, which in turn will maintain and regulate the forest ecosystem. So when we will be we have to hand rear a tiger cub. It's not that whenever a tiger gives birth, we go and take it and try for a hand rearing. No, we don't. We give all the chance. The first chance and the best chance is to allow the mother to raise the cub. Any young one raised by the mother is the best thing we can provide for the young one. There are some situations where we are forced to hand raise the young one. One is like mother is lost. There are many undue situations where the mother could die. So in such a case, we need to hand raise the cubs. Or cubs abandoned by the mother, or poor mothering capability by the mother. So they won't take care of the cub very well. There are few situations which may predispose the the mother to abandon the cub, like any disturbance nearby, like any other predator or a male tiger, or a sudden influx of a human introduction in that area that will disturb them. And then pregnancy, lactation, and raising a cub is a very stressful event for any animal, and especially for animals like tiger. So in such a situation, to get out of that stress, they will kill the cub and they will move out of that situation. And the other situation is mother is deceased, and cannot take care of the cub, or like the mother doesn't have the, like physiologically she is not fit to raise or nurture the cub. And one more situation is like filial cannibalism, where the mother kills the cubs. So these are the different situations where we have to hand raise a cub. In our situation, the cubs were abandoned by the mother. So due to poor maternal instinct, and then absence of nurturing uh, behavior, and then it also had a filial cannibalism habit. So on a fine day, there was two cubs born for our captive tiger, and we gave the 24 hours time for the mother to take care of the cubs. So we observed that mother is not feeding the cubs. In 24 hours, she is not taking care of the cub. And then at the end of the day, she tried to bite a cub. There was a thoracic puncture. So then we took the call, and we removed the cubs, separated the cubs and brought it to our neonatal care unit. We try to provide a critical care, whatever possible in that situation we have given. Like the animals, both the cubs doesn't have suckling reflex. We gave fluids to them. We tried to stabilize them. They were hypothermic. Their temperature, body temperature was subnormal, very low from the normal temperature. We tried, so we gave some warm. And then physical stimulation, how a mother will give, like from the tongue and their body, like that we try to give from our hand. But the one which succumbed to the thoracic bite by the mother couldn't survive that day itself, so we lost one. And one cub which had shown some positive signs, we tried the maximum to bring him to the life. So from the time they arrived, we through night 24 hours, 24/7, the monitoring and feeding was done. We attempted to feed them. As it said, there was no suckling reflex, and commercial milk replacers are there for feline kittens, but the cub, they refused to consume it. Then we attempted to collect milk from the mother, and then we observed the milking mammary glands itself. It's not that much developed, and then she is not no. It's very difficult to collect the milk from the tigress. Then we tried tube feeding. We intubated and whatever to be calculated reconstituted milk replacer. We tube fed the cub. After an hour, there was a suckling reflex. The minor suckling reflex developed. Then we tried to sustain it. And a special nipple tips and feeding bottles and reconstitution formula, which we modified day by day according to the physiological need and the problems we faced. This is how we tried with the feeding bottle, and each time before feeding we sterilize the bottle and the feeding cap, everything in boiling water. Each feeding, each half an hour to 1 hour, the cub was fed, and each hour they were sterilized and used. So with the constant support from our side and from the young one side, and after 24 hours of transfer to the our neonatal care unit, on day 2, the meconium was passed, the first feces. Then we got some confidence. Okay, the body system of the young one started working, so we should give more try. And we had a remote monitoring system also. We didn't over the staff. We all won't go. We had a scheduled timetable the allotted person only will handle the cub. So that was in a rotation. But one person cannot monitor continuously. So we had a remote monitoring system. So some other will sit outside and they will watch. If somebody, the one who is working inside the cub, he has to rest for some time. He can monitor. If something is wrong, he will tell the person. They will go inside and handle the cub. So during the first week, we faced many complications, like digestive and excretory difficulties faced by the cub, and there will be screaming now and then. None of us slept also. The entire team, we were along with the cub. And we try to stimulate and make the cub to excrete urine and feces every time, like a mother how she does, like that. We tried to make him excrete. The milk constitution also we modified according to the result. So some 10 days passed, and then on the 11th day he opened his eyes, and we were in front, like the first time when he opened his eyes, we are there, and it wasn't like we couldn't explain in words that he was very no, we were in cloud 9, we can say. We were in cloud 9. Soon he opened his eyes, and we were also excited. Still more, we developed some enthusiasm, and the involvement was increased. The trust and bonding between us and the cub was it was increasing day by day more. After 1 month, he started playing. It's toy time, play time. He need to play. He want to play all the day. So we try to provide him some needs for to balance his needs. And moving him from bottle to bowl, it's like our kids, like how they refuse to move from bottle to have food in glass or milk in glass, like that. It was very difficult. He try to play with the bowl. If we give, he will play around and he won't eat. Then it was a very hard time for us to slowly take him from bottle to the bowl. Today somebody have to sit with him, and slowly with more patience we encourage him to take from a bowl, and slowly it worked, and he also understood that he's now no more a small cub we are growing. So he started taking the meat. He needed some sunlight exposure and physical walk and exercises. So we try to in rotation veterinarians, we try to take him for exercise. And slowly from the crumbled minced meat, milk and crumbled meat, he moved to the whole meat. And there were no articles about him in the dailies regularly started coming. So the pressure of maintaining him was also increasing. So we try to do our best till then. And soon after, when he was competent to stay in a separate house, we moved him to a separate enriched housing, where we provided some enrichments for him, and which he also liked very much and enjoyed them, like perches, ropes. And when he's 5 months old, we moved him to his dedicated enclosure, like send off. He was like sniffing us, and first day it was very even sad for us to leave him there and come back. And we were standing outside the enclosure for a long time, and he was like looking at us wherever we go and stand in the corner of the outside the enclosure. He will run and follow us, and we were standing there. Still, it becomes dark, and so we went inside the enclosure. Also, we made him to believe that it's safe for him, and we stayed inside the enclosure for some time along with him, and then he believed us, and how it worked, and now he's no a big tiger now. This summer enrichment provided to him like any other animal. We provide them in the summer. Meat in a ice cube. This is his present appearance. See how humongous he is, and he's grown into a very big tiger now. Now, in the next month, he becomes 2 years old. It's a comparison picture how he was there in 10 days and now. Special credits to our team involved in it, Dr. Boone Alvin, Dr. Kalanjan, and the assistants, our hospital assistants, Mr. Praveen and Mr. Karthik, who were also there throughout the period until he was handed over to his dedicated enclosure. This is a small video clip from day one to his present appearance. You can see the gain in his gait. That's how he is awesome and handsome now. And our sincere acknowledgement and thanks to our Director and Additional Principal Chief Conservator of Forest, Mr. Yogesh Singh, IFS, our below Deputy Director, Sudha Raman, IFS. We need to mention about one more person who is very important in this successful hand rearing. That is Mr. S. Yuvraj, IFS, a Principal Chief Conservator of Forest and Chief Wildlife Warden of the state presently. He was a former director when he was hand reared by them. He has given a very strong support and good places and free hands for us. Without this strong administrative decision and support, it's not possible for us to do this successfully. And thank you all for watching us patiently. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Sridhar. It was a nice session. We have gone through the entire life of one small cub to how he is now. So thanks, Dr. Sridhar. Now let's go and see through the questions and queries by the. You can see that in the chat box and you can answer them.
Okay, Ms. Aruna Kumari has questioned, sir, what are called genial? So it's not. Can you read out? Ms. Sakarika has question like, sir, tell us more about the golden tiger and why is it a concern to environment? It's like golden tiger is also a mutant variant, uh, like other two variants. So in case of mutants, which is no normal from the normal color, it's their biology may be different. That we need to consider it. That's it. That's not going to be a threat for any like ecosystem anything. Mr. Pugarendi has asked, how do tigers have stripes in both fur and skin? That's their genetics. It's there on both. How means that's what how they are made to have stripes on both skin and skin, which eventually comes in their coat also. Okay, if there is there are if the questions are not placed now, we can do that at the end of the session, I guess. There is one more question arose. Challenges of having captive tigers, arose by Mrs. Bhavana. Challenges, yeah, we need some of the challenges what we face is no, we need to provide them an enclosure and optimum nutrition according to their biological needs. So which some of the enrichments which need to be updated and upgraded and modified periodically as per their physiological need and then the weather, with the climate change, everything. So in the wild they have no, they can choose according to them. Here their environment is controlled, so we have to provide that. So which we do on time to time basis regularly. Okay, thank you all. Thank you all for the patience.
Kalingan? Dr. Kalingan? Is my voice audible? Dr. Kalingan? Either is my voice audible? Kalangan, is my voice audible? My voice audible, Kalangan?
Yes, sir. Your voice is audible, sir. Let me introduce you again. We are going to see the talk about talk of Dr. N.S. Manoharan. Yes, Master in Wildlife Veterinary Science. Yes, more than 30 years of experience in veterinary care. Yes, 13 years of experience in captive animal care and has worked with Arignar Zoological Park and also as a director of Coimbatore Zoo. Yes, more than 18 years of experience in handling wild free-range animals like elephants, tigers, leopards, and has led enormous animal capture and rescue operations in the wild. He has worked in all tiger reserves in Tamil Nadu. So let's see about his experiences today. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Kalangan. First, I would like to thank Arignar Zoological Park for giving me this opportunity to share my field experience with the August participants or the well-wishers of Arignar Zoological Park, especially beloved Director Arignar Zoological Park, Deputy Director, my fellow veterinary colleagues, and the zoo educator, and also the participants who have spent their time at this juncture, at this time, to be part of the Global Tiger Day celebration and want to be part of the efforts which we are going to take for the conservation of the big cats. Now I will go with the video presentation. Yeah, take both share and இது பக்கத்துல optimize screen இங்க இன்னொன்று இருக்குலமா அதையும் கிளிக் பண்ணுங்க. Yeah. அது பண்ணுங்க. Is it visible? Dr. Kalangan? Is my voice audible? Is my voice audible? Is it visible? Okay. கேட்டுக்கிறீங்களா? So it is so here I would like to say that I'm going to my previous speakers, my own senior my guru and teacher Dr. Shankar sir has also shared. It is more like a consultation of his views and consultation of Dr. Sridhar. He is my junior colleague. Consultation of most of the points with some of the field experiences in particular to the Tamil Nadu forest area. This already Shankar sir has covered. There are 50. Still, I would like to reiterate the points. So we have 50 tiger reserves in our country. 51st is on the anvil, which is going to come up in Chhattisgarh, and 52nd is going to come up in Tamil Nadu also. So these are the figures as sir has told. From one of the mandate of the summit was double the population by 2022. Even Dr. Kalangan was mentioning that how we are going to achieve or whether we have achieved. Yes, we have achieved. In 2008, you can say in 12 years, the population has almost more than doubled. And from the year last century, that is, we had 40,000 tigers in our country, and the last census which we took up during 2018 showed around 3,000 tigers in our country. Though there was a decline from, if you see from 2000 onwards to 2018, the population has increased due to various efforts taken by the government. And sir was telling why the population was declining. So that we will see during the course of the lecture. So this was the summit exclusively for the tigers, and then a lot of steps taken after this summit. We know that there were about 9 species and 3 are already extinct. See, among various animals, tiger was chosen as the national animal. You all might know the various reasons why tiger was considered to be the national animal. I have just written 3 points. three important points: elegance, strength, agility, and the colossal power. See, from the speeches, from the video clippings, from your own personal experiences, probably from the WhatsApp, you would have seen tiger moving here and there. But there is nothing like, as forest veterinary officer, when I had traveled in the forest, nothing like sighting a tiger, just hearing the roaring. That gives that immense pleasure. I won't say the pleasure, immense feeling of magnificence of the forest. That was one thing, sighting a tiger. And the strength, as we all know that tiger is a solitary animal. It has to plan for its prey, for its life. So unless it has got the ability to plan things, unless it has got the colossal power and the strength, it might not be able to lead a normal life in the forest. That we'll see in the course of the lecture. And other aspects, Jim Corbett National Park was the first one to be declared as the Project Tiger one. And the conservation of tiger needs better efforts. Now, in our country, we all know that the land belongs to different personalities and different organizations. One is land will be owned by private bodies, land will be owned by different departments. But as far as forest is concerned, the protected areas largely fall under three important things. That is wildlife sanctuary. A wildlife sanctuary is a government land which is for a particular species. If I want to quote an example, I can say giant squirrel wildlife sanctuary in Srivilliputtur. Like that, we have got various sanctuaries in the country. So a sanctuary is an area where particular species is preserved. That is the important definition for the sanctuary, where people can live. Certain rights are allowed for the people. Livestock grazing is also allowed, but with a regulated manner. So they all come under the Wildlife Protection Act, and IUCN has defined category 4 for sanctuaries. And wildlife sanctuary, with due course of time, it can be also upgraded as a national park. Then what is the difference between national park and a sanctuary? National park is a better preserved area where it is not only the particular species, but the other flora and fauna are also preserved. Here, the people's rights have to be settled. No livestock grazing is allowed. No other species other than the wild fauna can be allowed inside a national park. Like you have got national parks in Mukurthi National Park, we have got Gindi National Park in Chennai. So where you will find no grazing at all. They also come under the Wildlife Protection Act, and IUCN has categorized this as category 2 type. A wildlife reserve or a tiger reserve can be a national park or a sanctuary significantly to protect the tigers. That's very important. They are critical tiger habitats which are inviolate for any activity. No other activity will be taken up there. The zonation, that is demarcation of the area, is something like you will have a core area in a tiger reserve and a buffer area. Core area is the place where the tiger's critical components will be available. Buffer area is one, also will have all the critical components, but the activities can be allowed to a certain extent. Now we will come to the glimpses of tiger reserves in our country. In Tamil Nadu, in the country, Dr. Shankar sir has already told about the details. Let me talk about the tiger reserves which are in our state. We have got 4 tiger reserves. The first one was Kalakadu Munandurai actually. Kalakadu Munandurai was declared as a tiger sanctuary way back in 1961. Later it was converted into 1988. It was declared as a tiger reserve. See, in a tiger reserve, you can see the area of the reserve. It's about 1,500 to 1,600 square kilometer area. See, tiger reserve, it is not that tiger alone is conserved or preserved. Previous speakers have also told that it is apex animal. Dr. Sridhar also told that it is a top predator. It is apex animal. If you conserve that, all the components in the forest area, it is not only the fauna, but also the flora will be conserved. For a tiger to survive in the forest, it is not that simply it can survive there. The prey base is very, very important. That we will come later. The second tiger reserves were established during 2007. There is an Anamali Tiger Reserve. and the Mudumalai Tiger Reserve. Anamalai Tiger Reserve falls in Coimbatore district. Mudumalai Tiger Reserve falls in Nilgiri district. Talakadu Mundandurai is in Tirunelveli district. Satyamangalam Tiger Reserve is in Satyamangalam, Erode district. It was formed in 2013. If you see at the last column, the major prey species. So, Sir was telling, the previous speakers were telling, I also would like to tell that it is the ecological web that is best managed by the tiger. A tiger's presence in the forest itself indicates the wealth of the forest. A forest is so good because of the presence of all these prey species. I mentioned as gaur. Gaur is commonly also known as Indian bison. Then you got sambar, cheetal, barking deer, mouse deer, wild pig, or elephants, and also Nilgiri tar. And in Satyamalam area, especially you got this black bucks also. So see, a gaur is also a very strong animal. If you find gaur, Indian bison is also a very strong animal. It has got its own survival strategies. Sambar. But if you leave gaur, sambar, cheetal, barking deer, mouse deer, all these herbivores in a forest area, what will happen? They will go on graze, and you will find that one fine day, forest will become deserted. It will become a green desert, and at various points of time, the forest will vanish actually. So, to control the population, naturally, you need to have a controlling mechanism. And a tiger is the top predator. He is the top platform to control the ecological web, or to have a maneuvering the ecological web. So that is the main reason. We have these tiger reserves in our country, and the tiger plays the major role in controlling all these factors. And the basic physiological facts about the tiger. This is very important when relocation, translocation programs, or Ex-situ conservation programs are taken up. Of course, the body temperature, respiration, pulse rate, all these things are almost close to the cats only. And longevity is about 12 to 15 years in the wild. But in captivity, I have seen when I was working in the Vandalur Zoo, I have seen a tiger living up to 20 years. I think even now Sridhar was also telling tigers are living up to 20 years. That is in Ex-situ facility. But in situ facility, they live up to 12 to 15 years. And you will find, I mentioned about this urine. They will spray on various objects in the forest to mark its territory. That is very important. See, if you see in Mudumalai, we have got about even today morning when I was speaking to Deputy Director, she was mentioning that the tigers are about 165 to 175. See, 165 to 75 numbers in 600, 700 square kilometer area, and they need to have their own niche or territory, home ranges. So how do they mark? Unlike we have compound walls and compound walls, they don't have any compound walls. But in the forest area, they have innate mechanism, intrinsic abilities to mark their own territory to say that my presence, and then who am I? Whether I'm a male or female, at what stage of age I am. All those things are expressed in the urine, and the next tiger also will know. So they have a lot of respect for each one's territory. So they just mark on various objects like tree. They also make rake marks, and then they also scratch marks. Raking is something like when they defecate, they are very clean animals. They simply rake on the ground and then defecate and then close the defecated material. And also they clean their nails on the trees by making scratch marks. So these are all the main ways by which they mark their territory. And this, you all know that, but I just want to tell you that there are youngsters and then school-going college kids, but I just want to tell you that this is the dental formula for the tiger. The I stands for incisor, 3 by 3, and then you have got canines, premolar, and molar. You can see the canines. Though tiger is a predator, some may feel that it kills other animals, but the killing mechanism, the ambushing, stalking, and then snatching the prey, and then killing. I will say one of the most humane predator, most humane way of killing will be tiger's kill. I have seen tigers kill in the wild also. I had a few opportunities where I have sighted tiger ambushing a gar, tiger ambushing a sambar without any sound, because the gar or the sambar, I have never seen them making smallest of the sounds before they die. You see the canines, the upper canines, uh, fully grown adult male's upper canine will be somewhere around 6.5 centimeters, and down the lower canine will be 5.5 centimeters. Then you can see almost 12 centimeters, and then they just crush, they hold the neck, they know they stalk, they ambush, and then you would have seen various video clippings and WhatsApps, and then they drive the canines into the, the atlanto-occipital joint. Your neck is joined to the body, only in that joint the canine goes through that, dislodges. No pain will be there. Once that is dislodged, there won't be any pain at all. Then it is only suffocation and then death. So most humane way of killing, it was enabled by the canines. So these canines is very special feature. So tiger is able to snatch the prey very efficiently and in a humane way to kill. And even during its predation, I have seen many times that they don't wastefully kill. That is the very important fact. That is why the colossal power on the other side, they're very, very gentle, extremely gentle. You would have seen Dr. Sridhar was going into the enclosure, coming and showing his love by just jumping onto him. And once its nutrition or its hunger is satisfied, it will be simply lying. You also would have witnessed everywhere. That we have to just appreciate. It just lies down there, allows the other animals to go. And that is also one more thing. It makes the other animal to feel that it is not a dangerous animal. It is not a dangerous animal. So, and also during the hunting, I have seen that it mostly preys upon old, senile, incapacitated, sick animals. The young animals, healthy animals, it just leaves so that the population also survives. The population survives and then it has the prey. And the population also, the herbivorous population also, by way of eating so many grasses, herbs, shrubs, trees, fruits, everything, they also perpetuate the forest. So it is a beautiful mechanism, the beautiful web, ecological web tiger plays. Though the roaring looks fierce, it is not that way. And then the claws, that is also very, very important. You all know that it can, you would have, many of you would have handled cats. It just comes out and goes in. So the claws are retractable claws. See, God or nature has designed such a way that the nail can come out and go in. We can never do that now. So it can come out and go in, and the nail, it is curved and very sharp, very strong. So it can cling to the prey the size of a gar. A male gar can weigh up to a ton actually. I have seen the largest prey taken by the tiger in the wild. So 800, 900 kilo weighing gar. Just it holds and then drives the canine into it. So the claw is a very important structure. And then in the forest area, it goes and scratches. It finds the tree suitable for scratching, scratches, keeps the nail clean, uninfected, sharp. So the claws are very, very important. So, and you all know that it has got a soft padding. So it is without making any noise, it can ambush as very, very close, it will go to the prey. And the mechanism of camouflaging extremely developed. The stripes also, makes with the light and shade. And then eyes. Eye is an important thing, because they normally operate their they can, during rainy days, cloudy days, diurnal activity is there. But mostly if you see, tiger will operate between 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Almost not, we can't say it is nocturnal, crepuscular. So evening it will start this activity, and by say 11, 12, early morning also. The eyes are very well developed in cats, especially in tigers, to make its life easier, to make a top predator, or very, very well developed for him to suit its way of life. Rod cells and cone cells. So that is very highly developed to allow more light or less light during the day or the night, so that it can visualize well, take the ambush, plan it, and do the operation. So that's about the eyes of the tiger. There's the same thing. This already Shankar sir has explained. Now I will also, since Sridhar has touched upon the Ex-situ facility and its importance, this one, this tiger, Ex-situ, Ex-situ facility is very important. Some, if there is a trouble in the in-situ facility for a particular species like tiger, then definitely Ex-situ is the way. Arignar Zoological Park in the South India is one of the best centers where tigers can lead a normal life. The simulated atmosphere and the care there definitely can ensure that in case the tiger has a trouble in leading a life in the forest area, then it can be taken to the Ex-situ facility. This particular story I will tell in short because already it has been described during the previous lectures. What happened during because tigers sometimes they come to the fringe of the forest, or they come out of the forest area in search of softer food, though their main prey consisting of Indian gar, sambar, wild pigs, cheetal. Sometime when they become old, or they lose their canine, or the claws are lost, and its territory is going to be occupied by another dominant male or a tiger, then they prefer to come to the border, and then in the boundary, we all know that livestock will be there, so they go for livestock lifting. During the process of livestock lifting, there is every possibility it also encounters or having interface with the human being, and then the tiger becomes troublesome. So we need to capture the tiger. So capturing the tiger from the wild, as the previous speaker Shankar Saab has told, in a planned operation, you monitor the tiger in a undisturbed area. Planning operation is something different from unplanned operation like this. This becomes suddenly problematic, and you do not know the tiger, which tiger also we may not know. So suddenly it becomes problematic, and within a very short period, we may have to capture the tiger either for relocation or for rehabilitation. So here the movement of the tiger has to be assessed. So we got a special team, anti-poaching watchers and anti-depredation squad members are there. So they just monitor by looking at the footprints, pug marks, urine marks, defecations, cat marks, all these things we monitor, and then we place the cages very suitably, camouflaging so that tiger does not mistake it, and then capture tiger. So this tiger was captured within 7 days. See, during the capture operation, what has happened, one humorous situation. We thought the second picture you can see, it was very weak actually, because it did not have food in the forest area for long time. It became very weak actually. Myself and one more range officer who was also very good in rescue operations, Mr. Tangaraj Panniselam, his name. So we were there, we dotted the animal, we thought it may not come back. So we ran and climbed onto a tree actually. Thought that tiger may not be able to climb onto a tree, but he forced, kindly understand, he forced tigers can climb onto a tree. So it just actually went up, it came up on the tree, and then it was, by the time the drug started working, so it came down, and then it was taken, released in natural habitat, to giving one more opportunity for the tiger whether it can lead a normal life. But it could not lead a normal life there because it was incapacitated. So it was taken to Wonderlore Zoo actually, from in-situ to Ex-situ. It was named there as Shruti actually. We named her as Shruti because at that time, that is during 1956, during Lakshman Suri, there was a musical troupe in Chennai, very famous musical troupe. So there was one tiger by name Lakshman. So we want to pair them. It lived there almost for 5 to 6 years. But we tried to breed her, but somehow breeding was not successful. That was one incident which I would like to share with you all. This is another capture operation in Kalakadu Mundandurai, and we have Kalakadu Mundandurai and Mahendra Hills. Here also, what has happened? You can see there were kills actually. What happened? The people reported unnatural kills of cattle and then sheep and goat. One day we found 4 or 5. This is how the neck is broken, and then we could see from the carcass, we could see the how sharp the canines went into the neck, and then we could see blind. It was not very sharp, so we were able to assess that this is how actually a field situation will be like this. The same day it was killing the sheep and goat and cattle. So we were just perambulating the area, keeping various teams to monitor its movement. We could after 3-4 days of perambulation in the forest area, we were able to see tiger. But in a long distance, we were able to see the tiger. People are also, agitating. This is a ground situation actually. This I'm just sharing with you the situation, what has happened there. DFO sir was there. So he was also specifying the people, give us time, because the tiger capture operation is not like any other operation. It has come out of the forest area. So it is a troubled animal, and it has also attacked one human accidentally, and the person was also died. But though it did not eat the person, this was the tiger, huge male. At the time of capture, it was huge male. But during the perambulation and searching operation, we were able to find pus and blood mark on the rock. So we were able to decipher to the conclusion that the right paw of the animal is injured, because the right paw and the urine mark we were able to compare, and we came to the conclusion that the right paw was injured. And after the capture also, we were able to see the right paw, there was an injury. And then there were also other injuries in the body that all indicate that it had a fight with another male. So it was not, a tiger cannot be threatened by any other animal other than a tiger. That adult male, a matured adult male, I think he will be the king. Nobody else can threaten him. He may be totally fearless. For no other animal, it'll have fear. Only for another tiger. So we could see from the injuries on the body. After the capture, we could see some injuries. We thought that there is another dominant male that injured. So he could not lead a normal life in the forest. He came out. So it was double tiger. So we captured it, and it was taken to the zoo for ex-situ conservation. It lived for some time in the zoo, and then it passed away. So that was the tiger, and you can see the canine was lost. So those were the important reasons why they come out of the forest. You can see the canines were lost. But huge tiger, it led life sometime in the forest, in the zoo, and then it passed away. But from in situ, ex situ, when such genes are passed, it is also good that we have good genetic flow. Otherwise, in ex situ situation, you may have a particular population, and then genetic flow may not be there. So this in situ, ex situ exchange of genes is also very important for sustained and viable population, both in ex situ and in situ situations. So this was during the thing, and we darted the animal, and then it was transported to transport cage and successfully transported to Vandalur Zoo. So that was my sharing of the tiger reserves in our country. And then this is a Sariska tiger which Shankar sir has released. So I thought I would just share it with you. And the capture operation, the field experiences in Tamil Nadu, actually. Thank you for the patient hearing. Thank you for the opportunity given by the Arignar Zoological Park and all the participants who have taken time to witness the presentations. Thank you. I could not hear, Kalangan, I could not hear. I think you have to unmute. Dr. Kalangan, I could not hear you.
Sir, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah. Now I'm able to hear. Probably it was on mute.
So Mr. Bharanidharan has asked whether a tiger can prey upon a fully grown elephant.
Probably you would have seen fully grown elephant. No, fully grown male fully grown male, it is not at all possible, not at all possible. But you would have seen recently, or we have seen, during the some of the operation in the forest area, tiger almost subadult elephant, both male and female, subadult male and female, it was able to kill, and it was feasting actually. And in a few incidents, we have seen tiger after killing the elephant eating the carcass.
Sir, and
Follows it follows the small herd, and then it chases and then separates the herd. It is a social group, and they live in herds, so it separates and then kills. And Dr. Kalangan, you also know that the skull is not very strong in elephant, so it gives a strong blow, and then it demorals, desensitizes, collapses the elephant, and then it kills and eats. Fully grown adult male, no, not at all possible.
Sir, the same person has asked, India have enough forest space for more tigers to come? Since tigers are very territorial, do we have enough area for the tiger population to increase?
The population has doubled. You would have seen from 2012 to 2020, the population has doubled. More areas are brought under tiger reserves. Yes, definitely there is quickest. India was home to, during the beginning of last century, India, our country, was home to 40,000 tigers. We have only 3,000 now. Definitely there is a space. And also, you will find Mr. Bharnathan also should find that the still, see, per square kilometer, how many tigers can live. It also depends on the prey density of that area, water availability in that area, and the vegetation for him to take a shelter, shade, and cover. So definitely we can hold more tigers in our forest. Our country can definitely hold more tigers.
Sir, Mr. Sai has asked, if the tiger get injured, they become man-eater. If we cure them, they will not become a man-eater or not?
Yes, Sai's question is correct. In one of the cases, in Gudalur, there was one tiger which was actually straying out of the forest area. In all the camera traps, we were able to see the tiger was coming to Gudalur area, attacking the livestock, preying on the livestock. But whenever we were trying to put a cage, he never entered into the cage. So we were monitoring. In fact, on few occasions, on the livestock kill itself, after paying the compensation to the farmer, we medicated the cattle carcass. So he was coming and eating, getting the medicines for in the camera trap, we were able to see there were injuries on the body. So with that injury only, he was killing. So we were giving treatment, and after a month, the camera trap showed there was no injury, and after that, the tiger also did not come into the Gulur area. So if the tiger is, just adult, say 4 years, 5 years old, due to, see, they can injure not only with the tigers, during the preying also. If they're going to prey a gar, there is every possibility from the horns, they may get a injury. Even wild boars, a male wild boar, if is going to prey upon the tuskers, the very, very strong tusk they got, they can just injure. So that injuries, once it heals, it will definitely lead a normal life. So the age of the tiger is also very important to remain in the forest area. Yes, Sai's question is right. Once the wounds are healed and the age is also young, definitely it will back in the forest area and lead a normal life.
Sir, Mr. Raju Gadi has asked, how to conserve and at the same time increase tiger population for upcoming year, because there are so many problems today, for example, deforestation and urbanization.
Yeah, one thing definitely I will say, see, by joining hands, when we join hands, see these kind of sensitization only. See, I think Srikanth has asked this question, the gentleman asked this question. I will tell you, this concern, this passion, this is enough to avoid deforestation and then unnecessary stresses on the forest area. So that is one way. And then creating awareness among the various stakeholders, right from the policymakers to the common man, bureaucrats to technocrats to politicians to the other stakeholders, various other department stakeholders. Everybody has to be aware of the importance of tiger. See, if you connect tiger with water, if you connect tiger with farming, if you connect tiger with life, your own lifeline, then I think everybody will be concerned. See, we live in Madras. I live in Coimbatore. I may think that water is simply coming. It is water is not simply coming. Water is flowing from hills. The hills are taken care of by elephants and tigers. So I need to contribute something for the conservation of the forest in terms of the elephants and tigers. So it is everybody's duty, everybody's concern, everybody's responsibility to allow our fellow co-inhabitants to share the earth and live peacefully.
So I think we can go in for one more last question, sir.
Yeah.
The Srikanth has asked, how many years can a tiger survive under ex-situ condition from in-situ?
Ex-situ condition, definitely they can live more than 20 years. I think Sridhar, Kalangan, you are in the zoo. You know that we have seen tigers, na? Because I think one tiger, I forgot the name. It lived more than 20 years. Captive. It was completely captive born. Father was from the zoo, mother was from the zoo. It was a captive born zoo tiger. And from day zero, that was wonderful, na? That is very, very wonderful. Day one, from day one, you were taking care. So that is a great opportunity for the tiger, and definitely they will live more than 20 years in ex-situ situation. In situ, it is less because, as I told you, the canines are very important, claws are very important. It's one colossal power, but once it is not able to eat the proper meat, and then it loses the power. So that's why the average age, the longevity is slightly reduced. So in ex-situ situation, definitely they can live around 20 years.
Sir, one more last request from me. Can you share your experience about the Kundasabai tiger capture operation of yours in Nilgiris, sir?
Yeah, Kundachapai tiger during the Kundachapai tiger operation, though it was because Dr. Boone, Dr. Kalangan, you are all part of the team actually. Dr. Boone was there. You are all very young veterans at that time. But it was the first of that kind in Nilgiris actually. First of that kind of operation, because Nilgiris had tigers, but for quite some time the tigers were not there in the upper plateau of Nilgiris, Nilgiris city and surrounding area. But this tiger climbed from Mudumalai Tiger Reserve through Kallati, that area, and it came, and then it was responsible for 3 human kills actually. Though all the 3 were quite accidental, but within every 4th day there was a kill. So we were very sure about the next move of the tiger. First day, second, 4th day, and that area people never saw the tiger. It was full of tea estates. So tea estates cover a lot of people. Already it has attacked the human. Was a deadly combination. So initially we thought that we will capture the tiger and then relocate to the tiger reserve. But all our efforts, we took a lot of efforts. Caging we did, and then we built machans to tranquilize the animal. Then we had cages, different area. We had cages, and we had pits, and then we had night vision binoculars to monitor its movement to tranquilize, and then we had that sensor monitored. So many dogs we are using. So all the techniques we followed, all techniques we tried actually. All techniques we tried. Whole night we were in cages to attract the tiger, so that whether we will be able to capture it alive and then relocate. But all our efforts, could not succeed. The tiger evaded us, and the 4th day came. The fourth day came. So we had a lot of mindset was different. So we took that extreme decision after consulting the higher ups and the various provisions in the Wildlife Protection Act, and that extreme step was to eliminate the tiger. So there was a I will say it was a different experience, and you are all part of it. It was a great experience actually to know about a tiger which stays out of its own territory and entering a new area.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks for spending your valuable time for this session, sir. Thanks a lot.
It's a pleasure, Plankin. It's a pleasure.
So I take this opportunity to thank our guest speakers today. I thank Dr. Shankar, Director of SECON, Dr. N.S. Manoharan, Additional Director of Veterinary Services, retired, and Dr. K. Sridhar, Veterinary Surgeon of ASFP. On behalf of our Director and Deputy Director and the management of Arignar Zoological Park, I once again thank you. Thanks a lot. And instructions for the participants. So first of all, those who have registered, they can fill in the feedback form and they can get their e-certificates. Only registered participants will get their e-certificates when they have filled in their feedback form. And for all other participants, like they have a general quiz about tigers, what we have sessions, we have attend the sessions today. So please attend the quiz and enrich your knowledge. Thank you.